I just noticed something on the XRP chart that virtually nobody is talking about. And it's so far from conventional wisdom and what the average XRP influencer or YouTuber shares and understands. But it will shock you and enlighten you about what comes next for XRP. And although, according to a few indicators, XRP looks severely overbought and like it's going to roll over for a pullback, this may very well not be the case, because in this video, I'll cover a few other indicators that challenge the common investor sentiment, and I'll even cover some price history that tells us what's likely going to happen next. Now, many people in the XRP community have been asking, how high will XRP go this bull market cycle? And more importantly, when should you get in or add to your XRP positions? Well, I'll be sure to answer all of these questions and more by the end of this video. And I'll also be sharing some data from the futures markets that most investors overlook and don't know how to read or interpret, but can give us clues. I'll even be covering some important information that you need to know and be on the lookout for that will either confirm or deny our bull case theory, so you're more educated and feel like you have the right tools and information to properly manage your positions and risk. And of course, I'll be sharing my price target for the year and how I come to this conclusion. No BS or overhyping it. This is a realistic price target based on the tokenomics and the potential market size of the year. So as always, if you're feeling blessed and bullish, comment 777. And if you're going to be the wealthiest person in your family tree, be sure to smash the subscribe button. Hello and welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Paul. And really quickly, I want to cover this chart from Peter Brandt. This is someone that I respect dearly as an investor and a day trader. He's an older gentleman who is truly a student in the art of technical analysis. And recently he posted on XRP, which he doesn't too often. He basically explained how we covered or cleared the 2023 all-time high, and we also have yet to cross that 2021 high. However, if it is cleared, we are going to be smooth sailing to some new all-time highs. So yes, I'm going to cover that. But what's going to happen next might actually shock you, because I think a lot of folks expect a pullback. And although that might happen, and we're going to cover what would cause something like that to happen, it's also very much possible that this thing just goes parabolic and hits some insane targets through 2025. And this type of explosive price action has been the catalyst for an insane run up in terms of Google Trends and search volume. This is the Pico top on search volume for the term XRP. Back in December of 2017, you can see it topped off at about 100. Then again, back in April of 2021 at about 90%. Already the trajectory went from October at about 26, which is a pretty consistent average for the last year and a half, 2 years. And we are expected to see an 84 reading this November on this type of price action. Many believe it's because Gary Gensler is going to be out, and apparently the SEC may settle or drop its case entirely among Ripple Labs, Coinbase, Binance, Kraken, and Cumberland. Under new leadership, they might revisit these cases and say they are unlawful and drop them entirely, considering this is the most pro-crypto Congress and presidency in history. So this is very big news, and I believe this is exactly why XRP has been pumping. Among the fact that you have someone like Brad Garlinghouse now doubling down on his support of the current administration and Ripple's chances to succeed in this next bull market. Let's listen to what he says.
Yeah, so what's affecting the price of XRP has been the SEC. People forget, frankly, before the SEC got involved in the crypto markets, XRP was the second most valuable digital asset, ahead of ETH. And then the SEC got involved and said, hey, we think ETH is probably okay, and ETH went up. And then they sued Ripple, and XRP went down. You know, this is not how our government is supposed to work. We're supposed to have a level playing field and have, equal opportunity. We shouldn't have our government picking winners and losers in this regard. We think in the long run will prevail, and that'll sort itself out. But for now, it's frustrating for the community, and I liked the way you characterized it, for the XRP family.
And it's quite drastic, the tone change from him, from being, well, XRP was attacked by the SEC and that's what's kept the price down. And now that the price is currently pumping, he's extra excited. And he says that it's safe to say that the US is ready to be the crypto capital of the world with the next Trump administration. With all of that said, it makes sense that the Google Trends has really popped off recently and that the floodgates are opening and many retail investors and new people are looking up the term XRP, likely to buy or at least look at the price action. But when you look at price action like this and people don't know how to read a chart, especially if they're new investors, chances are they're just FOMOing in and buying what could be a local top. And many indicators would say so, considering, look at how parabolic this move was. Back here, we have a recent resistance of about 82 cents down to 74 cents. This range was the range to beat. And not only did we hit it for about a day or two and get resistance, we actually just blew right through it all the way up to $1.27. And in this type of a scenario, you would thoroughly expect a pullback when you look at a couple of different factors. First and foremost, we saw volume really pop off, but I'm going to pull that down. What I'm looking at is the RSI. And typically when you get in this range of above 70 and upwards of 90 points right here, many people would look at this and say, uh-oh, it is overbought, and they're going to go and try to find ways to short or sell their positions. And in similar fashion, when you look at this indicator, the stochastic RSI, you can see that it rolled over, that the fast moving average is now below the slow moving average. And so in a situation where the blue line crosses below the orange line, you might be tempted to sell your position. Now that said, it's not a bad place to take some profits if you've really been needing it. However, I do believe we're going to go a hell of a lot higher. Again, it's important to remember that things can go higher and higher for far longer than you would expect when retail really enters. We're at a 26 reading. Look at how many people are now searching the term, and November isn't even over yet. Now, another indicator that, if you know how to read futures contracts and open interest, you can see again we have the price action or the chart on XRP. Now this is on Binance, so I would say this is pretty solid data. As the price has continued to chill out or range between $1.17 down to about $1.05, you can see that right here we have open interest consistently declining. And yes, since this moment in time that open interest has declined, so has the price. We've started to create a new downtrend, a very short term downtrend. However, a downtrend nonetheless, even though we are in a longer term uptrend. As you can see here, we have a double top and then we have a series of lower lows, but open interest is consistently declining. This typically indicates as price is going lower and open interest is going lower, longs are closing, which is not actually a bad indicator, but many people might look at that and say, uh-oh, I think it's time for me to get out as well. Now that said, before I dive into the key indicators that would lead me to believe we are actually going higher before we go lower, and what I recently noticed that virtually nobody is talking about, if you're wanting to become a crypto millionaire in 2025. And by the way, that is no guarantee. Everything that I'm sharing in this video is for informational purposes and educational purposes only. Speak to a financial advisor if you're going to make some big decisions about your money. That said, I'm not guaranteeing you're going to be a millionaire. However, we have the right tools, systems in place to not only educate you, but to give you the confidence you need to make some really big moves as a crypto investor this upcoming year. And here I have a short clip from our very own Nick Anderson on the Bull Runners channel explaining what our new program is, Altcoin Pro, and how it can help you achieve your goals as a crypto investor in 2025. So let's take a short listen and get back into the video.
If you want to learn how to find the next 10x, 50x, or even 100x altcoin in this video, listen to this. Our research team posted GOAT on the 13th of October of 2024 when it was right at a penny, and since then it rallied to over $1 and is currently still up over 5,000%. That's like turning $1,000 into over $50,000. Our team called Pendle at only a $16 million market cap, or 16 cents, back on February 18th of 2023, all the way back here, and since then it's rallied up over 4,000%. That's a 40x. It's like turning $1,000 into over $40,000. Our team also called BitTensor Tau September 15th 2022, before the token was ever even launched. And since then, Tau has rallied over 2,000%. That's a 20x. Our team even said Solana is most likely to be one of the easiest trades next year, and this was posted December 29th, 2022, on the day that Solana bottomed out at around $8. And since then, Solana looks like it's up over 2,500%. That's a 25x. It's like turning $1,000 into over $25,000. And the bull run is just getting started. The list goes on and on and on. Our team called Sui, Ondo, and even some of the biggest cult-based meme coins like MOG back in July 20th of 2023, the day that MOG launched. So if you want to learn how our team is finding these altcoins before they explode, we just launched Altcoin Pro University, where our research team gives you real-time altcoin picks with explosive potential for this bull run, along with 100+ expert curated classes crafted by industry experts to discover these gems yourself, on top of our live weekly calls every single week for in-depth crypto market analysis and daily updates. And that's just a fraction of what we offer inside of Altcoin Pro University through the link below. And although we make no guarantees because crypto is definitely risky, guys, this is only $97 a month or $970 a year. If you want to save $194, getting 2 months for free and unlock some exclusive bonuses, just go through the link in the description below. Get in right now. Watch the 26-minute video covering everything that Altcoin Pro University offers to help you become the first millionaire in your family tree. If that's a goal of yours, our goal is to help 1,000 members set their portfolio up for life this month. And you can get started through the link in the description below right now, or you can go to bullrunners.com to take advantage of the bonuses we're giving you before they expire. We have about 200 members right now, and we literally just launched like less than 5 days ago at the time of making this video. Everyone is loving the community. They're loving the education. They're getting access to real-time altcoin picks first before we ever make videos about them. So click the link in the description below, watch the video, and I'll see you on the inside.
So that said, head on over to bullrunners.com to learn more. You have nothing to lose, everything to gain by simply checking it out. Now that said, if cryptocurrency markets and XRP are going to continue to rally, we do need to see a healthy stock market, as they are consistently and highly correlated. That means if the stock market does well, then crypto is likely in a position to do well, because many investors look at them as risk on asset classes, which simply mean they don't want to carry risk if things are looking a little bit uncertain or risky, and they are likely to want to dump all of their money into these markets if they are excited or feeling euphoric. That said, investors are betting on a market melt up, as many investors are betting that it has room to run, and that the US equity exchange traded in mutual funds drew nearly $56 billion in the week that ended on Wednesday, which is the second largest weekly haul in records going back to 2008. Now, many investors that were surveyed said they were bullish, which jumped up to 49%, which is very, very high for this reading, and the share of those reporting a neutral sentiment dropped to the lowest level since 2022. Now, I'm not saying that we need to overinvest or take on too much risk, but the markets were in an 8+ month boring range, and now they are just breaking out, and I don't feel like we should be selling anytime soon. If anything, we should be adding to our positions as more and more investors become euphoric, and then those laggards enter the market. I don't believe the laggards have fully entered the market just yet, and when they do, and there is a legitimate reason for the price to go up, for example, here is the Bitcoin exchange reserves. As you can see, this purple line is consistently showing and proving that exchanges have less and less Bitcoin. There is a supply shock, as the majority of Bitcoin that is even mined on the daily is being sucked up by all of these institutional investors and the ETFs. So imagine everyone you know starting to ask you, should I be buying Bitcoin? Should I be buying XRP? Which ETF should I get into? And then there's less and less supply. We're going to see some insane rallies well above 100K on Bitcoin, which is going to create for a very positive and dynamic environment for much of that money to rotate and flow into virtually every altcoin and push their market caps to new all-time highs as well. Now, with an indicator like the stochastic RSI on the daily time frame, many investors would be tempted to believe that we are severely overbought, and it even looks like that's the case, considering if I pull up a 10 and 20 EMA right here, you can see that we deviated quite heavily from that 20 EMA trend line, which is typically an average or an indicator that many investors like to use and buy into pullbacks. And as you can see, that thing is currently sitting at about 78 cents. I'll go ahead and increase the size of that as well. So that said, many people would say or be tempted to wait for a pullback to 78 cents. But if that didn't happen, it would suck to see XRP continue to rally without you. And that's something that you don't really want to do. So when things are trending really hard, they typically can move far stronger and far faster than you would expect, which is why I like to go to a lower time frame and then take that stochastic RSI and wait for a pullback into this range right here where the fast moving crosses over the slow moving and it starts to trend back upward. That said, it looks like we're getting very close. And when you look at the 10 EMA right here, this blue line, we are consistently being supported. So as long as volume continues to drop like this and then into a breakout right above that $1.17 range, we see volume explode and increase again, chances are we're going to get another major rally to a new all-time high. And so that's what I'm really looking at. I'm watching this trend line closely. I'm watching how the price action is consistently putting in higher lows and has failed to put in a higher high. But these higher lows being supported at this trend line, the stochastic RSI here, the volume decreasing into this trend to the upside is a strong indicator that we're probably not coming back down to that 78-cent range as much as I would like to see that, unless of course the rest of the market melts down. If the entire stock market sees a bad day or two, then chances are so will Bitcoin and XRP, which is why it's important to pay attention to this stuff. And it's also equally important with this much volatility and price action to not be playing around with too many futures or leverage. Instead, have a game plan. So for me, I have a game plan to buy on any pullback to this 20 EMA right here. And I also have a game plan to be accumulating into a breakout above $1.17 where volume confirms that move. In other words, I'm only looking to buy XRP now. And I think the major reason I'm looking to buy XRP, whether we pull back or not, is because it is one of the most explosive major market cap cryptos or altcoins. As you can see here back in 2021, and I'll go ahead and zoom in here, well, we made an explosive move and a breakout above our recent range resistance, or right here, these highs. You can see that this move was really, really big. Many people would have been tempted to sell this move right back down to touch resistance. However, that never really happened. It put in a new support right here at about 91 cents before making a new high for another 100% move off of these lows. In other words, it chilled out for 1, 2, 3, 4 days, and on the 5th day it really rallied. That said, it could be about 4 or 5 days now. It could also be about a week, but typically when I see a support like this that is very strong, I want to buy into that new high. I would arguably even buy before that high, considering when you look at volume, again, it also increased really strongly on the breakout. So notice how volume is declining into this support, and then on the breakout it really explodes on the daily time frame. Well, in similar fashion, that could happen again, because you'll notice here we broke out to a new high. We're being supported well into this range, and on that 3rd day of the breakout, notice there's a literally zero wick to the downside below $1.05. In other words, there were no sellers here, not one, and we saw a greater wick or a stronger wick to the upside above the previous day. So this is kind of like a bullish engulfing wick, so to speak, which is indicative of a lot of bullish price action and momentum. So we're 1, 2, 3, 4 days in now to this range. It's potential and possible that this week we break out with some volume again to confirm that move. Even though the stochastic RSI is declining down, it could come down into that 62-cent range or 60% range before making a new high again. And the next major indicator that I really like to look at when it comes to futures is the liquidation maps. So I go over to coinglass.com. You can look up liquidation maps. Right now we're sitting on Bitcoin. I like to look at Bitcoin first to see or confirm, and I come down to this one in particular, Bitcoin Exchange liquidation map, to see whether or not more people are leaning bullish or bearish from a 7-day time frame. So I'll come right here, click on 7 days, and what I'm really looking for is not Binance, OKX, Bybit. What I'm looking for is the left side versus the right side. Whenever I see this left side or the red looking far bigger, right, and this cliff is far greater in terms of dollar amounts, then the right side, or this green side, this is typically a very bullish indicator, because this means $9.7 billion on Bitcoin would be liquidated if the price hit $80,000. In other words, $80,500, a lot of longs are going to get liquidated. There are far more players that have money behind the long position from a 7-day time frame. I've noticed that this rings pretty true most of the time in the direction that you want to trade. Notice how there's only 6 billion on the short side. In other words, bigger on the left side is typically more bullish, bigger on the right side would be more bearish. And right now we are more bullish. So then I would go to XRP and see, does that remain true for XRP? 7-day time frame. You can see that we have far more money and leverage on the bull side. So all of these indicators, although as much as I would like to wait for a pullback, and I thought it was potential a few days ago that we would, when I see this type of price action, it just gets me more bullish. I will be buying into virtually any dip here, but at the end of the day, I am currently accumulating for a breakout above about $1.12 on a daily time frame and $1.17 on a 4-hour time frame. So now the question becomes, how high could XRP go once it does break out? I'm not too sure when it's going to hit its high, but I can kind of be confident in terms of the range or the price action up until that point. And what I would use is the entire or total crypto market cap. In this first major rally from 2015 up to the top of December of 2017, you can see that the entire crypto market cap added $748 billion for a 26,000% gain. And then just based on the law of diminishing returns and the age of the entire crypto market, the next major run up was $2.89 trillion-ish for a 3,000% gain in the total amount of money in the crypto market. At this stage, it's safe to say that we might actually add another $7 trillion of money into the crypto market by the Pico top of this bull market. And that would only be a 1,200% gain from the lows of 2022. But this would be a total of an extra $9.2 trillion from those lows and an extra $7 trillion from today's prices. Now, how does this correlate to XRP and where XRP could go? Well, XRP is important to look at when it comes to its dominance. And the reality is our average dominance, even if we were on the low side, is about 2.5%. On the high side, I'd say about 3%. You can see that consistently XRP was declining from 2023 all the way into June of 2024. However, dominance simply means the percentage of the total money in all of crypto that XRP has. In other words, if we hit a $10 trillion market cap, and I don't want you to get too confused, I'm just explaining it straight up. If we hit a $10 trillion market cap, which is a very conservative bull case scenario in 2025 or maybe even to early 2026, and XRP is 3% of that total money, that would bring XRP up to a $300 billion market cap, which is still lower than something like Ethereum. Now, if you remember earlier in this video, Brad Garlinghouse was saying they were second to Bitcoin in terms of their market cap before they were sued by the SEC. In other words, they were outperforming Ethereum. I think XRP this bull market cycle will actually outperform Ethereum in terms of its price action and percentage gains. And so just based on all of the information that I have, I predict that XRP is going to hit about $5.26 by the end of this bull market cycle if it hits a $300 billion market cap. And sometimes it far exceeds my expectations. That said, a lot of other coins could enter the space. We could see some inflationary pressure from XRP, but when you have a breakout above a range like this that has consistently been a resistance and a descending triangle over a period of 6.8 years, this thing is going to go far more parabolic than I expect. And I think we're going to get a move that looks more similar to the one that happened from February of 2017 all the way into May of 2017, where we put in some insane gains, and this caused a lot of retail FOMO to happen and pump it up for a second major move, and where it topped off at about $3.30 some cents. So that said, I am buying any of these dips. I'm waiting and expecting for at least a new all-time high to $3.30 some cents, but realistically my target would be $5.26. Now, I'm not going to say, hey, just because I'm waiting for $5.26, it has to hit that. I am very dynamic in terms of how I respond to markets. So if the market starts to look weak and we start to see a lot of sell pressure and the TradFi markets are looking weak, Bitcoin is looking weak, then I'm going to be far more apt to start selling some of my XRP position. But I am holding out for that previous all-time high and realistically a new all-time high. That would put us at about a $300 billion-ish market cap. We could potentially even go higher, especially with the SEC out of the way and all of the utility that XRP provides alongside just this price action. I think this alone is one of the biggest indicators that this thing is ready to pop off to a new all-time high. So that said, if you enjoyed the video and you learned something new and you are ready to be a crypto millionaire in 2025, first and foremost, subscribe to the channel. I appreciate you guys hopping on and watching this whole video, and then head on over to bullrunners.com to get access to Altcoin Pro University. We spent a lot of time and effort building this thing out for you. Since you saw that recent little post, already we're up about 80 members, and we only have bonuses for the first 1,000, which I do believe as the bull market continues to rally and become stronger, we are going to hit that number pretty quickly. So the sooner you get in, the better. Now, inside of this program, not only are you going to get a bunch of expert curated classes from industry experts, you're going to get live weekly calls where we get to answer your questions, anything and everything you have. We're going to share altcoin picks with you. We're going to teach you how to do technical analysis from professionals. We're going to show you how to get access to DeFi yields and airdrops. And ultimately, you're going to have a community of people that take crypto very, very seriously. So if you want to take crypto seriously this year, head on over to bullrunners.com. Link is in the description below. I look forward to seeing you on the other side, my friend. Thanks so much for watching the video. Goodbye.